Hi, I'm Adele Michael. I work with women in business who want to have more income, have more clients, and more impact, and do good in the world, and enjoy it all along the way. So today I want to talk to you about the freedom to change. We've been on a theme of freedom this month because of July 4th, and this is a very important freedom to be conscious of and to adopt. And why is that? Because it's very easy in the physical world to think that things are solid, like these leaves are solid, this iron is solid. And yet, over time, it changes. These plants, they all change. And we change. It takes about 10 years for every cell in our body to regenerate. Every cell. And some are much quicker than that. So every 10 years, we are a new us. And yet, sometimes it seems very much like we're the old us. So let's get aware of how we can change and build our expectation that change is possible. And we'll do some clearing today to help you know that even more deeply. So I want to tell you a little story. I have an acquaintance who, in my experience of her, really doesn't think things change. They actually do change a lot in her life, and they have changed. But she doesn't believe that. And so she's in a situation right now where she believes a personal situation that's very challenging is not going to change. And yet it could. It could. So, and I've been there too. I've thought, gosh, my situation with my business will never change. It'll never be where I want it to be. Or my relationship with money is never going to change. And it has, significantly, in both cases. And it continues to do that. There's no arrival in my experience. There's just change. So, where in your life do you feel like it's not going to change? In your life or business, money, health, relationships, love. Maybe you've been looking for love for a long time and you haven't found it. You haven't found it yet. And how could it change? So, you know that I like to use the bobber. If you've been watching these, this is the bobber. It's oh gosh, the lighting's getting really bad. I apologize for that. The sun has come out. It was overcast before, so sorry, but we're going to keep going because that's the change. Yes. So this is a bobber, and it's a dowsing instrument. You can also use a pendulum or rods, L-rods, to find water. People have been doing this for a long time. What I use dowsing for is to clear the energy and then infuse the energy you want. So clear emotions, the past. One of the reasons we think things can't change is because of our past. It's like, well, that happened. It traumatized me. I was deeply wounded. And I think things are going to stay the same. So on that level, releasing and clearing the memories and the energy will help each of us have more freedom to change. So, think about that one thing that you would like to change. And I'm going to ask some questions and do some clearing. And just notice if anything does change for you today or if it changes for you in the future. Because you may not feel it today, but you may notice something different tomorrow. Okay, so here we go. So when I'm over here, I'm doing counterclockwise, and that's clearing. This is just the way my system seems to work. So anywhere where you're not allowed to change, where you do not have the freedom to change from your own ideas, your own experience, your rules, your internal rules, or the rules that other people have given you, expectations, anywhere where you're not free to change, you're not allowed to change, we're going to clear on all levels, lifetimes, languages, resolving all the history. Anything that stands in the way of that is now deleted and destroyed across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. I'm going to say the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, which sounds funny, but if you're interested, there's more information at accessconsciousness.com. Good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whew. So what that's doing is clearing on 9 different levels. And you may or may not feel it. And I use that with dowsing because I like the momentum and the motion of dowsing, and I like the clearing statement. It has helped me a lot. Okay, so we're just going to keep going until the energy says we're done, and we're done. Okay, so let's just, now this is the infusion part where we're putting in the energy you do want. And even if it's like 1% more, permission to change, being allowed to change, allowing yourself, being allowed by others. Let the spirit of permission come in. And again, you may or may not feel it. And if you don't, that's fine. Just notice what your job is to be aware of what comes up and notice any changes. And if something comes up that feels a little difficult, the easiest thing to do, I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay, we're done with that part. We've got a couple more to go. The easiest thing to do, oh gosh, you can't even see me. Wow. Oh, sorry. This lighting stuff. Whoa. But I did want to be outside with the lake because it's a gorgeous day, and yeah, wanted to be outside with you. And so if something comes up and you don't know how to change it, or it's upsetting you, what you do is you gaze up gently. You don't do like this, and you don't strain your eyes, but just keep your head level, just looking ahead, and then gently look up and ask, what can I do about this? What can I do about this? And what do you do? So you look up and you breathe, you take a deep breath. So let me demonstrate that better. Sorry. You look up, take a deep breath, and ask, what do I do about this? And this is whatever may be upsetting you or bringing up feelings or memories. And then you listen. Okay, so that's it. So you look up, you take a nice deep breath, you ask, you listen, and then you take action. So action might be call my friend to talk to her about what's going on, or call a counselor, or call a coach, or check in with check on the internet, some resource that you may have found but have disregarded. So that's one way to start to gain even more awareness. It's looking up, taking a deep breath, asking, listening, acting. Okay. All right, so the next clearing I want to do for all of us, because I'm doing this for me too, is the freedom to believe you can change. Freedom to believe you can change. So I'm clearing, trying to stay out of the sunlight. Clearing anything that keeps you from believing you can change. Yeah. So on all levels, lifetimes, languages, resolving all the history, clearing that, and all dimensions, lifetimes, all that other stuff, pod and poc, which is the Access Consciousness clearing. Yeah. Okay. I'm moving around. Oh my gosh. This is funny. Okay. So we're going to infuse or fuse with your spirit the belief that you can change in the way you want to. And one thing you may want to do is find some new tools, or use the tools you already have. What I find is I have so many tools, but I forget to use them. So if you have a tool like affirmations or EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique tapping, or access consciousness, or theta healing, or any, Reiki, anything, or expanded questions like, what else is possible? What can I do here? Anything that will help you gain more awareness and calm down a little bit, because sometimes it's very frightening or can be anxiety provoking to change. We all want change, and it's hard to change sometimes. So we're calling in the spirit of belief that you can change. And how about if it were easy, graceful, fun, adventuresome, creative, and just what you want? Remembering that the universe is always going to surprise you. It is always, always, always going to surprise you. It is not going to deliver what you want the way you think it's going to come. And if you hold tight to how it's supposed to come, the form rather than the essence, it's going to be really hard to bring it into form. So believe that you can change, and that it can be easy and fun, graceful, and perfectly timed, and that you will be delighted with it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the third clearing I want to do is encouraging. I'm going to scoot up a little bit. Encouraging you to act, to change. So I am very guilty of this, of having great thoughts, great aspirations, and not doing a darn thing about it. And you know what? We live in a physical world. We are in a physical world. And unless we act, we're not going to gain any traction. We're not going to gain any more awareness, and we're not going to have the achievement we want in the physical world. So again, I know that can be scary or anxiety provoking, so take it in like micro bites, like little teeny steps. Don't freak yourself out by going to, for the whole enchilada. Go for a little piece. Yeah, if you're eating an enchilada, you're not going to eat the whole thing in one bite. You're going to cut it up and savor each bite. So this is the freedom to act, to change. So anything that stands in the way of that, on all levels, lifetimes, languages, the history is now resolved. And what that means is any place you've acted in the past, any place you think you're going to act in the future, and you're going to get a certain result, and that's kept you from acting again. So for instance, I've had several things in my business that I tried. They didn't go the way I wanted them to, but I learned a lot. And that informs me today for the business that I have today and what I want to do in my business. So my job is to keep acting and to get better and better and better at taking action. So wherever you're not willing to do that, wherever you're holding yourself back from doing that, let's just clear that. Delete and uncreate it across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. Good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whew. Okay. So we're going to infuse the ability, the willingness, and the stability, the strength to act for change. For your own change and for change in the world. And also, there's something about resiliency. Being able to be resilient. when stuff happens, and stuff is going to happen. You're not in this world and stuff isn't going to happen. You take action, you're going to get a reaction. And we're just infusing the ability to respond gracefully, confidently, and believing in yourself. Because if something happens because you took action, it doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you wrong. But sometimes we think it does. If somebody is critical or somebody doesn't like what we're doing, that's really not our reaction. It's their reaction, and it's really none of our business. But we'll talk about that another time because it's a whole another subject. Okay, so coming to a close for this one. This one went a little bit longer, and I appreciate your being here. I do want to say that freedom to change in my world, I teach women sales, authentic sales tools, along with the confidence to be present with a prospective client who really could use your services. Helping people know that they have the freedom to change is a big part of sales. It's a big part of sales because when we say no to an opportunity that might be perfect for us, oftentimes it's because I don't believe I can change. So, amp up the knowing that you are free to change within yourself, and then you can share that with others. So that's it for today. I'll be back next time, and thanks for being here, and I wish you great prosperity. Talk to you next time.